the best foods with no carbs and no sugar. I'm so glad you're here watching this video today, and I want to thank you for taking the time to learn about something that can truly change your life if you're over 50 and worried about your weight or your overall health. Have you ever felt like you keep trying different diets, but nothing really works the way it used to when you were younger? Maybe you've spent months or even years cutting out sugar or lowering your carb intake, only to find that the scale won't move, or you still feel sluggish and tired throughout the day. It can be really discouraging, especially when you remember a time, maybe in your 30s, when simply walking a little more or eating a little less seemed to help you drop a few pounds pretty easily. Now, it can feel like your body refuses to cooperate, and you might be thinking, is there something wrong with me? The truth is that your body is not broken. It's just changing as you get older, and what worked in the past might not be the best approach for you now. Today, I want to share a solution that focuses on some of the best foods with no carbs and no sugar, or foods so low in carbs and sugar that they can help you manage your weight, stabilize your energy, and feel better in your daily life. By the end of this video, my goal is to give you practical tips you can try right away, so you can see that it's not about making drastic, punishing changes or starving yourself. It's about learning how your body works after 50 and choosing foods that support you instead of working against you. Let's start by looking at why carbs and sugar seem to affect people over 50 in such a dramatic way. When we were younger, we may not have even paid much attention to sugar or how many carbohydrates we ate. But as we get older, a few important things shift in our bodies. One of the biggest changes is metabolism. Your metabolism is like a little engine inside your body, burning fuel or calories all day long, even when you're resting or sleeping. In your 20s and 30s, that engine tends to be pretty efficient, but as you reach your 50s and beyond, your metabolism often slows down. This slowing down means that the amount of calories, or carbs and sugar, you used to handle easily might now lead to weight gain or stubborn belly fat that refuses to go away. It's not that you're doing anything wrong, it's just that the body adapts differently as the years go by. Another big factor is insulin resistance. Insulin is a hormone that helps your cells use sugar from your bloodstream for energy. After many years of eating higher levels of carbs and sugar, or even if you've just had some genetic predisposition, your cells can become less responsive to insulin. That means that when you eat sugar or carbs, your blood sugar can stay higher for longer, and insulin has to work extra hard. Over time, this can lead to fat storage around the waist, dips in your energy, and even chronic health conditions like type 2 diabetes. If you add hormonal changes on top of that, like menopause for women or gradual decreases in testosterone for men, your body can start storing fat where it didn't before, and it can feel like you don't recognize your own shape in the mirror. All of these shifts are normal parts of aging, but we're not helpless. One of the best ways to help your body through this stage is by picking foods that don't flood your system with sugar or spike your carbs too high. Before we jump into which foods are best, let's talk about why so many people fail with typical diet advice after 50. Often, diet programs are made with younger people in mind. They might say, eat less fat, or count your calories, or just do more exercise. And sure, that can work if you're 25 or 30, and your metabolism is still humming along at full speed. But for those in their 50s, 60s, or beyond, these plans can fail to address the real issues. First, they usually don't talk about insulin resistance or how to handle it. Second, they ignore that older adults need enough protein to maintain muscle mass, because muscle is crucial for keeping your metabolism active. Third, many diets lump all carbs together. You might end up cutting out vegetables or fruit because they contain some carbs, but those are not the same as refined sugar or white bread. So people try extreme diets. Maybe they go zero carb for a week or two, and then they feel awful, or they slip up and eat something sugary and feel like they've ruined everything. it can become a depressing cycle of guilt and confusion. And it doesn't help that many of the so-called diet foods on the market are full of artificial sweeteners, preservatives, and chemicals that might actually make you crave more sugar or upset your digestion. The good news is that there are plenty of foods that are naturally very low in carbs and sugar, or even free of them entirely, that can help you feel satisfied, keep your energy steady, and support healthy aging. A lot of people think that a low-carb or no-sugar approach means eating nothing but plain chicken breast all day, but that's not the case at all. You have a variety of options, from eggs to healthy fats to certain vegetables and cheeses, that can keep your meals interesting without causing big spikes in your blood sugar. Let's start with protein. Your body needs protein to maintain and build muscle, which is incredibly important as you get older, because muscle is more metabolically active than fat. That means if you have more muscle, you'll naturally burn more calories, even at rest. Eggs are a fantastic choice because they contain high-quality protein, essential nutrients, and very few carbs, often less than 1 gram of carbs per egg, which is negligible for most diets. You can scramble them, boil them, or make an omelet with leafy greens for breakfast. The important thing is that you're getting a lot of nutrition in each bite. If you prefer something else in the morning, you could choose Greek yogurt that's unsweetened, which also has minimal carbs and is high in protein. Just be sure to check the labels, because some yogurts sneak in added sugars. Lean meats and poultry like chicken breast, turkey, lean cuts of pork, and certain cuts of beef are also generally carb-free. If you buy chicken breast, for example, there should be 0 carbs in it, and if you prepare it simply, maybe with herbs like rosemary, thyme, or garlic powder, you can avoid sugary sauces or marinades that can add carbs. For seafood lovers, salmon, sardines, shrimp, and most fish also have very few or no carbs. Salmon is especially good because it contains omega-3 fatty acids that help support heart health and can reduce inflammation. One trick is to look for wild-caught salmon if you can, though any salmon is typically a healthy choice if prepared well. Season it with some spices, maybe a drizzle of olive oil, and bake or grill it. That way, you're getting high-quality protein and healthy fat, all with almost no carbs. Speaking of fat, healthy fats are not your enemy, especially when you're trying to keep carbs and sugar low. Avocados, for example, are high in fat, but low in net carbs because they have a lot of fiber. Now, they do contain some carbohydrates, but the high fiber means the net carbs, total carbs minus fiber, can be as low as 2 or 3 grams per half avocado, which is very small. These healthy fats can help keep you satisfied for longer, reducing the urge to snack on sugary or starchy foods later. Olives and olive oil are also excellent staples. Olive oil is basically all fat with no carbs, and it has antioxidant properties. Drizzling a small amount over your salad or your cooked vegetables can make your meal taste richer without adding carbs. Another popular option is coconut oil, though it has a different flavor profile. The point is that fats like avocado, olives, and certain oils help stabilize your energy levels and provide essential nutrients. Now, let's talk about dairy. Some people handle dairy well, others do not. If you're someone who enjoys cheese, many varieties such as cheddar, mozzarella, or feta have almost 0 carbs. But it's important to look at the labels because some processed cheeses can include starches or fillers that add extra carbs. If you decide to include dairy, keep an eye on your portion sizes because dairy can be calorie-dense. Unsweetened almond milk or coconut milk are also good replacements for regular milk if you're trying to cut down on sugar, since cow's milk has natural sugars. Just make sure you buy unsweetened versions, because the flavored ones often have added sugar. We can't talk about low-carb, low-sugar foods without mentioning vegetables. There's a big misconception that all veggies are high in carbs. That's not true. Non-starchy vegetables like spinach, kale, broccoli, cauliflower, zucchini, cucumbers, and bell peppers are very low in net carbs and very high in vitamins, minerals, and fiber. They help fill you up, support digestion, and can add variety to your meals. Think about steaming some broccoli or cauliflower to serve alongside your main protein, or roasting zucchini slices in the oven with a bit of olive oil and herbs. These small changes in your plate can make a huge difference in how you feel. Leafy greens like spinach or kale can go into omelets, soups, or salads. Cauliflower can even be turned into a low-carb rice substitute by simply grating it or buying it pre-riced at the store, then cooking it quickly in a pan. If you love mashed potatoes, you might try mashed cauliflower instead. You might not get the exact same taste, but many people grow to love it. Nuts and seeds can also be friends in a low-carb, low-sugar lifestyle. Almonds, walnuts, macadamia nuts, and Brazil nuts are particularly good because they're higher in healthy fats and lower in carbs compared to some other snack foods. They also contain important minerals like magnesium and selenium. Keep in mind, though, that they're quite calorie-dense, so a small handful is usually enough. Seeds like flax seeds and chia seeds are also great additions since they have fiber and healthy fats, which means minimal net carbs. You can sprinkle them on salads, mix them into yogurt, or even add them to smoothies. Just be aware that a little can go a long way, and they can absorb a lot of liquid, especially chia seeds. Beverages are another place where carbs and sugar often sneak into our daily routines. Many people don't realize how much sugar is in sweetened teas, coffees, or fruit juices. Even diet sodas or zero-calorie drinks can contain artificial sweeteners that may still cause cravings or make it harder to break away from sugary foods entirely. One simple move is to switch to water, still or sparkling, flavored with lemon slices, cucumber, or a few berries. Black coffee or unsweetened tea can also be part of a low-carb, low-sugar approach. If you need a little creaminess, try unsweetened almond or coconut milk. Pay attention to how you feel when you add artificial sweeteners. Some people do fine with them, but others notice they get more cravings or an upset stomach. Now, how do you put all this together into daily life? Let's imagine a simple day. For breakfast, you might have 2 or 3 eggs scrambled with spinach and maybe a slice of cheese. If you enjoy coffee, you could have it black or with a splash of unsweetened almond milk. That's a filling, nutrient-dense breakfast that won't send your blood sugar spiraling. For lunch, you might have a salad with leafy greens, some diced chicken breast, cucumber, and olives, drizzled with olive oil and vinegar. If you want a little extra flavor, you could add a few avocado slices. You'll stay full and get a good mix of protein, healthy fats, and vitamins. For dinner, consider grilled salmon or baked chicken with a side of broccoli or cauliflower, maybe roasted in the oven. Use simple spices like garlic powder, onion powder, paprika, or herbs like thyme, rosemary, or oregano. You'll get big flavor without added carbs or sugar. If you're craving something sweet, some people like to end the day with unsweetened Greek yogurt mixed with a few crushed nuts or chia seeds, which can give a nice texture and a subtle flavor without loading up on sugar. When you're snacking, focus on foods that won't cause a spike in your blood sugar. A handful of almonds or walnuts is a great choice, or you could have a hard-boiled egg ready in the fridge for a quick pick-me-up in the afternoon. Cheese sticks or small cubes of cheese paired with cucumber slices can also work as a snack. If you're someone who loves to crunch on chips, you might try pork rinds, which are carb-free, although they can be high in sodium. Another option is to cut zucchini into thin slices and bake them with a little olive oil to create veggie chips. You can get creative as long as you're focusing on foods that don't contain significant carbs or sugar. The key to making changes that actually last is to do them gradually. Sometimes people want to go from eating 200 grams of carbs a day down to 20 grams overnight. That can shock the body and leave you feeling tired, irritable, and even dizzy if your blood sugar drops too fast. Instead, try lowering your carbs in steps. For example, if you normally have toast or cereal for breakfast, replace it with eggs and vegetables. Then for lunch, Maybe skip the bread and have a lettuce wrap or a salad. After a week or two, once you're comfortable, you can tweak your dinner to be lower in carbs by replacing pasta or rice with cauliflower rice or zucchini noodles. Each little shift helps your body get used to running on fewer carbs and can help keep your energy more consistent. Also, staying hydrated is very important. Sometimes, when people cut down on carbs, they forget to drink enough water. Being dehydrated can cause headaches, fatigue, and even cravings. Make sure you're sipping water throughout the day. Adding a pinch of salt or an electrolyte mix, one without sugar, can also help if you're feeling low in energy. One thing to remember is that no carb or very low carb does not mean you should never eat any carbohydrates at all if you don't want to. Vegetables and certain fruits have a lot of valuable nutrients, and a moderate amount of berries, for instance, might be okay for many people, especially if you're active or have learned how your body responds. The goal here is to focus on truly low-carb or carb-free foods that won't spike your blood sugar and to be more mindful about where carbs are coming from. For many people over 50, reducing or removing sugary foods, white bread, pastries, and sweetened beverages is enough to see a big improvement in weight management and energy levels. Then, you can slowly find a balance that works for your unique body. If you have specific medical conditions, always talk to your healthcare provider first. Everybody is different, and what works for one person might need adjusting for another. It also helps to think about why you want to make these changes. Many people over 50 discover that it's not just about looking better, although that can be a nice benefit. It's also about feeling good. Maybe you want to have more energy for your grandchildren or your hobbies. Maybe you want to avoid health problems like type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, or other issues. Or perhaps you're tired of the afternoon slump that comes after a carb-heavy lunch. Remembering your why can keep you motivated, especially when the holiday treats or social gatherings tempt you with sugary snacks. Think about how good it feels when you don't have energy crashes, or when your pants fit more comfortably, or when your doctor gives you better feedback on your blood tests. Those moments can be very inspiring, and they help you stick to the healthier food choices you're learning about right now. Many people also ask, how do I handle emotional eating or stress eating? It's perfectly normal to turn to comfort foods when life gets overwhelming. If that's something you struggle with, you might want to have a plan in place. For example, if you know you get stressed in the evening, maybe prepare some hard-boiled eggs or a small cheese plate and keep them in the fridge. That way, when you have that urge to snack, you can reach for something low in carbs that won't derail your efforts. Another trick is to drink a glass of water or herbal tea first, just to see if you're actually thirsty, or if you need a quick moment to calm your mind. If you find that you really do want to eat, having a healthy, no-sugar, no-carb snack on hand can keep you from grabbing sweets out of habit. Over time, you may discover that you can find other ways to cope with stress, such as taking a short walk, doing some gentle stretches, talking with a friend, or listening to calming music, so that food is not the only solution. Let's also address another big reason people might fail when trying to cut carbs and sugar: the type of carbs they choose when they do eat them. There's a big difference between refined carbs, like white bread, white pasta, pastries, and cookies, and carbs that come from whole foods like vegetables, legumes, or small amounts of fruit. Refined carbs break down quickly in the body and can spike your blood sugar, which is exactly what causes issues if you're battling insulin resistance or a slower metabolism. On the other hand, whole food carbs like broccoli or even beans, if you can tolerate them in moderation, come with fiber and nutrients that slow down the impact on your blood sugar. Although beans are not zero carb, they can still be a better choice than a bowl of pasta because the fiber helps slow digestion. But if your main focus is on finding foods that truly have almost no carbs or sugar, then sticking to lean proteins, low-carb vegetables, and healthy fats is the safest bet to keep your blood sugar in check. Now, let me give you a personal example. I have a friend named Anna who's in her late 50s. She used to love having toast and jam for breakfast, a sandwich and a piece of fruit for lunch, and maybe pasta for dinner, because she believed that carbs were just part of a balanced diet. Over time, she started feeling tired after meals and noticed that her waistline was expanding. Her doctor mentioned that her fasting blood sugar levels were trending higher and that she might need medication if this continued. That was a wake-up call for her. She decided to make a few small changes. Instead of toast and jam, she started her morning with eggs scrambled with spinach, plus half an avocado. She replaced her lunchtime sandwich with a salad that included chicken or salmon, lots of colorful veggies, and a drizzle of olive oil, and she skipped the high-sugar dressings. At dinner, she experimented with zucchini noodles and cauliflower rice to go along with grilled meats or fish. She also cut down on sugary snacks, replacing them with nuts or cheese in small portions. Over about 2 months, she lost several pounds, especially around her midsection, and found that her energy was more stable throughout the day. Her doctor was happy to see that her blood sugar levels had improved, and she no longer felt that big slump in the afternoons. She didn't have to cut out all carbs forever. She just needed to be strategic about the types of foods she was eating. That's a real-world example of how focusing on low-carb, low-sugar options can make a difference without feeling like you're on some extreme diet. It's important to remember that any big changes can feel overwhelming at first. If you try to overhaul your entire diet in one day, you might get frustrated or slip back into old habits. That's why I always recommend focusing on 1 or 2 meals at a time. Maybe start by changing your breakfast routine. Give yourself a week or 2 to get used to it. Then look at your lunches. Over time, these small changes add up. You might notice your clothes fitting better, or your mood improving, or that you have more energy to take a walk after dinner. And that's another thing. Moving your body in any way, whether it's walking, light stretching, or some strength exercises, helps improve insulin sensitivity. This means your body uses the carbs you do eat more effectively, and you're less likely to store them as fat. Exercise doesn't have to be intense. Even gentle strength exercises with light weights can help you maintain muscle mass and support your metabolism. Think of nutrition and movement as partners that work together for your health. As you explore this new way of eating, try to have fun with it. Experiment with recipes you find online for low-carb or no-sugar dishes. You can make zucchini lasagna, cauliflower pizza crust, or even sugar-free cheesecake using natural sweeteners in small amounts if you're okay with that. There are so many creative ways to enjoy familiar flavors without relying on high sugar or high carb ingredients. It might take a bit of trial and error, but once you find a few favorite recipes, you'll see that you can still have meals that taste amazing without spiking your blood sugar or dragging your energy down. Also, get used to reading food labels. You'd be surprised how many products in the grocery store have added sugar or hidden carbs, even in sauces, dressings, or canned goods. Terms like maltodextrin, fructose, corn syrup, or even brown rice syrup can indicate added sugars. If you stick mostly to whole foods, you won't have to worry as much about hidden ingredients. Now, let's do a quick recap in simpler terms. As we get older, our metabolism slows down, our hormones change, and we can develop insulin resistance, which makes it harder for our bodies to handle sugars and carbs. Typical diets often fail because they don't consider these changes. They might be too extreme or too general. Instead, we want to pick foods that are naturally very low in carbs and sugar, which helps keep our blood sugar steady and supports weight management. Great choices include eggs, lean meats, fish, seafood, healthy fats like avocado or olive oil, some cheeses, if you tolerate dairy, non-starchy vegetables like broccoli and spinach, and nuts or seeds in moderation. Drinking more water and cutting out sugary drinks can also help a lot. By making small, steady changes in what we eat, we can feel more energetic, reduce stubborn belly fat, and support better overall health. We don't need to starve or force ourselves into extreme diets that leave us feeling miserable. The idea is to nourish our bodies with foods that don't throw our blood sugar on a roller coaster ride. If all this sounds helpful and you'd like a more guided approach, I've put together a free guide called No Carb, No Sugar Essentials for 50 Plus. It's filled with a simple grocery list and a full week of meal ideas that focus on these principles, using foods that help you feel full and satisfied without loading you up on carbs or sugar. You can download it from the link in the description. It's completely free, and it's my way of helping more people discover that healthy eating doesn't have to be complicated or unpleasant. If you found value in this video, please consider subscribing to my channel. Every week, I post new tips on nutrition, healthy habits, and lifestyle changes that are especially helpful for people over 50 who want to stay active, strong, and feeling good as they age. We're building a community here that supports each other through these changes, so you're definitely not alone. Even if you're just beginning, remember that each small step can lead to big improvements over time. I want to leave you with a final note of encouragement. Your body is not giving up on you. It's simply adapting to a new stage of life, and it needs you to adapt too. By choosing foods that don't pump your bloodstream full of sugar, and by keeping an eye on carbs, you're giving your body the best chance to thrive. These changes won't happen overnight, but if you stick with them, you might be amazed at how much better you feel, both physically and emotionally. It's never too late to start, and you certainly don't need to do it perfectly. Even small shifts, like substituting sugary snacks with a handful of nuts or switching from sweetened coffee to unsweetened tea, can start you on a path to feeling more balanced. And when you feel better, it's easier to stay motivated and keep going. Thank you for watching and spending this time with me. I hope you walk away with fresh ideas and a renewed sense of hope. You deserve to feel your best at any age. Just remember, pick foods that support your body, keep an eye on carbs and sugar, and watch how these small changes add up. Go ahead and grab my free guide if you want a handy resource to get started, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care of yourself, stay hydrated, stay active in a way that feels good, and always remember that you have the power to make meaningful changes in your life. You've got this.